Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Daniel from Woodworking with Dash, and today we're going to make this box. I call it the seesaw box. It's to hold your rings and earrings. Look at that. The two buckets on the end are self-gimbaled. They've got two little lids on them. Doesn't that just pop? It's made of Occam and US maple and Jarrah. What a great looking box. So come on a journey. I'll show you exactly how to make this box, guys. Very unusual box, guys, isn't it? Look at that. Okay guys, another unusual box, isn't it? Wish I could see it. I got no idea how I'm going to make this again. All I know is that I cut out the ends. I thought I'd make a seesaw box, and I just got it on the computer and I made this shape. And I cut it out with a laser. So they're going to be the two ends. I cut them out of Occam, out of 16mm Occam. The lasers are great, but you can cut up to 16 or 18mm timber, and in a couple of passes. But now all I got to do is sand the black off, and I got me two ends that are perfect. The black comes off fairly easy. Just takes a little bit of work. And getting into the corners, that's the hard part, but with a little bit of effort. And putting a half round on them now, so they're very tactile. And cutting down the maple for the boxes. Watch this bit of timber, guys. It binds the blade near the end. I should have a riving knife on the saw, I don't, but I should have, to stop the saw from binding like this. But I kept going, I pushed through it. Don't know whether that's good or bad. And cutting down the Jarrah, cutting it down the guts for the two centerpieces. And there's the two bits of Jarrah. I've done two glue ups. I glued up one side, and then I cut them in half again and glued up the other side. That's how I got the square of Jarrah in the centre. And budding the maple now, getting it nice and flat so I can put it through the thicknesser. And whacking it through my favourite machine, the thicknesser with the helical head. What a great machine. I love it. A little bit of adjustment now. And there goes the Jarrah through it too. Okay guys, you see that? I've glued up a maple and Jarrah square, you see, so each side is going to have a strip of Jarrah down it. I'm going to make like little buckets, I think, and with some sort of top on it. Not 100% sure yet, but they will just float in between the two rocking ends somehow. The trick is to make sure this is dead square, so the Jarrah square is in the dead centre. So we'll do that next. We might cut the tops first off each end. Not 100% sure yet. We'll just continue and we'll see how we go. I'm just making this up as I go, guys, you know. I do something and sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But it's all fun for me. I hope it's all fun for you too, guys. Okay, just putting it through the thicknesser again to clean it all up, make it just square. And here I am cutting the tops, the angle on the tops, about 22 degrees I think, making sure the point is right in the centre of the square of Jarrah. And then sanding it up, sanding it nice and round, and just looking as I do it to make sure it's all coming up very nice. There you go. And now drilling the hole for the ring and earring holders, the ring and earrings. Okay guys, you see how I drill the holes in the tops of the buckets to hold the rings and earrings, and that's the top. It's going to look cool. Now I've got to use my trusty taper jig again to taper them down like a bucket. But before that, I've got to drill the hinge point, the pivot point, I think. I've got some 1/4" stainless steel here, which I'm going to use as the pivot rod. So I've got to drill that, but everything's got to be flat when you do this, so it goes in square. If you angle everything first, you're never going to get it square. You're never going to know where it's square. So I've got to drill that first. I'm just hoping it works. I hope it does. There I am drilling for the 1/4" stainless steel rod. And cutting it on my taper jig. Again, never try to do this by holding it. Always cramp it down. And then sanding all the saw marks off it. Okay guys, I've got the buckets made, and I got the rod, the hanging rod through them, but they don't sit right. See, they're on an angle when you put the tops on. So what we're going to do, we're going to drill the bottom out, and I've got lead. I'm going to melt lead and pour lead into the hole, so it gives a lot of weight down below, so they should hang right then. I hope. Okay, drilling the hole in the bottom for the lead. I also put a screw in the hole, so it binds the lead to the piece. And then trying to melt it with the oxy torch there, but that wasn't successful, so I took it inside. And then pouring the lead. Look at that. So easy. And here sanding up the Jarrah strips to hold everything together. Make sure they're a nice tight fit. Okay guys, the lead did the trick. Look at that. It all rotates the way it should, I think. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Look at that go. And I've cut the rails to hold it all together. Now, and then all we have to do is to put the rails in, glue them in, sand it all up, and put a stopper in the top to hold it. See what happens when I take the top off? If you take the top off, you can take your ring out. Put the top back on. Perfectly balanced. Hey guys, I've got everything glued up. Just waiting for everything to dry. And look at that. Now all we have to do is sand and polish. It's done. There you go, spraying my furniture lacquer on it. Good way to do this, but it's so finicky otherwise. I give it 3 coats, sanding in between. Hey guys, look at it. We're all finished. The seesaw box with its 2 little self-gimbaled buckets at the end. Isn't that cool? You take the lid off and it presents you with your ring and earring. Put the lid back on and it's just perfectly balanced. It will just stay there. What a great looking box. Look at that guys, something unusual. Today we are going to make a box that's not a box. There's going to be no miters, no masking tape method, nah, all totally different than what you've seen. In fact, it's just going to be 2 bits of timber hinged together. Sounds easy, doesn't it? And it is easy, but it's one of the most elegant boxes you'll ever see. And here it is. Just 2 bits of timber hinged together. The top one is soprano and the bottom one is celery top pine. And the interior is made to hold your rings and your earrings. What an elegant box. That's all it is. And it comes up great, doesn't it? The colours are great, they come up great. So that's the box we're going to make today. So follow along and have a go. This one's really easy to make. Okay guys, these are the timbers that we'll be using. This is the celery top pine. Look at the growth strings on that. It must grow very, very slowly, but it grows in Tasmania. and African Soprano. This is zebra wood. It's a great match, isn't it? The box came out great. We're over to the planer now to plain one face and one long edge. We have one face and one edge of the celery top pine planed, ready for the thicknesser, and also the soprano, done the same. One face, one edge, ready for the thicknesser. We'll keep the soprano as thick as we can. We'll plane the celery top pine down to about 2 inches, about 50 mm. Okay, it's all thicknessed up. We will now cut the celery top pine down to about 140. We won't do anything to the soprano till after we've got this cut and chamfered at 45 degrees, so we know how thick the soprano has to be. Okay, we've got the celery top pine planed to about 48 mm here come up, and we've cut it to about 280, 285 I think. Now we'll put a sizable 45 degree chamfer on the edge. And I'll do this on the saw. It's too big for outer colour, so I'll do it on the saw, but it's going to be the same all the way around. To tilt the blade over to 45, we've got to change the zero tolerance plate to an old one that goes to 45. Okay, you see when I cut the long edges on the 45 that there's an offcut that's fell right between the blade and the saw bench, and I didn't chase it. Turn the saw off, wait till it completely stops, then you can take it out. When they're on an angle, they can jam really easy. So just stop what you're doing, turn it off, wait, and then get it out. Okay. I also cut the ends. I had to cut them upside down to get the right angle, but it's just a matter of creeping up on them until you get it. Okay guys, the bottom block is finished. Now we can cut the soprano to fit on top of the bevels. So that wide by that wide. So just fit it to the top of the bevels, and then we will hinge it. Okay, the top is now cut to size. It fits perfectly on top of the bevels, and now we will bevel. Before we hinge, we'll bevel the top itself. Okay guys, we've just we're out of the Soprano top with a 45-degree chamfer. I used a big 45-degree cutter with a 3/4 shank. It's a lot bigger. It was a lot sharper too. And it's done a really nice job of it. So now we've basically got the box finished. We've got the shaping finished anyway. So the next trick is to hinge the top before we drill the holes. Look at that, that's going to come up great, isn't it? Okay guys, we're ready to hinge the top. For this top we'll be using these little 25mm butt hinges. I have a jig that does my butt hinges. It's a double jig. So you can't mark up where they are. You put them on one side and you put it on the other side, and it has to line up, but you're doing two at once. I'll be routering them out with a trim router with an 1/8 inch cutter in it. So it's fairly straightforward. Once you got your jig made, it's pretty easy. Okay, I've routed the hinges in the big bottom piece, a flat surface on a flat surface, to keep them up just a tad. Okay, now we're going to line the top up with the hinges. It's just a matter of lining it up and marking it on the end. Because we're using a double hinge jig, because we're using a double hinge jig, once you line up one, the other one will be perfect. Hey guys, another thing that we have to do before we go too far is to stick the red material onto the 3-ply for the insert for the bottom, because they need time to dry. And we just do that with a bit of Type 1-3. Okay guys, just lay it on. If you've got a bit of weight, it'd be good, but if you haven't, don't worry about it. It will stick. Rub it in, rub it down flat. Careful not to get any glue on the bloody surface like I do. Get your forcing bits out. It's time to mark out the holes for the trays to hold the jewellery. Okay, mark them out in a sort of a random sort of pattern. Don't be too symmetrical about them, but they look better. Here I've got 5. I've got two big ones, 2 small ones, and a small one in the centre. That's enough. But they've got the hinges on the end here. We're going to go about 15 or 16 mil deep. So that's almost to the end of the chamfer there. So just go basically to the end of the chamfer, almost to the end of the chamfer. Set your stop up. That's it. And now we're ready to start drilling. All the holes are drilled, and the only thing that we have to do now is to hinge the top. Okay, all done. The lid is hinged, the holes are drilled. I haven't put all the screws in the hinges yet, but they're pretty bastard to get out sometimes. So I'll take them off and I'll polish it up, and then we can assemble it, and then we can put the trays in, the round trays, which I'm going to be cutting on the laser. Come on, good, didn't it? A good colour contrast. Look at that, very elegant. Okay, time to sand and polish now. As I said, I give my box of 3 coats of spray lacquer. Okay guys, the box is just about finished. I polished it and I've re-hinged the lid. It came out great, didn't it? The only thing that I have to do now is to cut the red bases for the holes, and I'll cut them on the laser. And I'll show you how to do that. But you don't need a laser to cut them. You can just cut them with a standing knife or sand them up. I'm going to cut them with a laser, but they've got a laser. The box is completely finished now with the Sobrano lid and the celery top pine base and the red interior. Come out great, didn't it? This would be a great little box for someone to make as a starter box. It's only 2 bits of timber hinged together and some holes drilled and some material put in the holes. That's it. I'll show you another one on one of the boxes the same as this. This is the same box but with a wenge lid and a grey interior. I made this box is in my book, so this came up great too. But they're both good boxes and they're so easy to make. So have a go at one. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.